Hey, I'm Paul Black, and I'm going to be your instructor for each of the 4 parts of the CPA exam. I started teaching students how to pass the exam back in 2011, and I have a huge passion for helping individuals get through this really difficult test. It's doable, but difficult, and get their designation. Having that CPA license opens up a huge amount of opportunities to you moving forward. Higher salaries, job mobility, job opportunities. It opens up a lot for you. So my passion there is helping you get through this exam and move on to those opportunities. All right. Now, if you've gotten to this point, you've probably done a decent amount of research, learned a bit about the exam. You'll know that there are 4 parts to the exam. Okay. We've got FAR. All right. We've got auditing. We've got BEC. And we've got regulations, okay? Now, FAR, financial accounting and reporting. We've got audit and attestation, all right? We've got business environment and concepts, and we've got regulation, tax, basically, okay? Now, we're gonna go through, I'm gonna tell you pass rates for these guys. Not to scare you, but just to let you know that this is a tough exam, all right? You need to study, all right? So, back in 2018, here were your pass rates. All right. FAR, 46%. Auditing, 51%. BEC, 59%. And regulations, 53%. All right. 2020. Now you're going to see a little uptick here, and I've got my theories as to why we have this uptick, but we've got 49.98, 52.84, 65.56, and 62.29. Big upticks here in BEC and Reg. And I think that has to do with people in lockdown, pandemic mode, more time to study. But at any rate, we're moving upwards in pass rates this past year. We'll see if that trend continues. So we got 2018, 2020, pass rates are moving up. Now, one of the things about the CPA exam is that you have 18 months from the time you pass your first exam until you complete your last exam. All right, you've got an 18-month testing window in order to pass all 4 exams. So because of that, I typically recommend that you take FAR first, because that 18-month window doesn't start until you pass your first exam. So I say take what I consider to be the hardest exam, FAR. Hard not because each individual concept is difficult, but hard because there is so much information to study. I think it is the broadest of the exams. This exam will take you much more time, all right, to study for than BEC. BEC gives a lot of people trouble. The concepts are something that you may not have seen in college as much. Each individual concept may be a little bit more difficult, but there's not as much information, so it doesn't take as long to study. So I tell people, study for FAR until you're ready to take it, okay? Then take FAR. Next, audit or reg. Kind of up to you, what you're more comfortable with. If you know, maybe you're in the audit industry already or regulation tax industry already, you've got a little bit more knowledge, you feel comfortable with it. And then lastly, I say end with BEC, okay? Part of the reason why I say end with BEC is because, right, you're studying for months and months and months, and towards the end, you might get a little burnout. BEC is a hard test, but it's the shortest to study for, okay? So at that point, you're starting to get burned out a little bit. One, you've learned through each of these how to study, right? You've got your routine down, you know how to study, you know how to pick out the important concepts, but maybe you're getting a little bit tired of having to do it. BEC is the shortest one. If you're rolling into FAR and you've got this mountain of a test in front of you, all right, and you're already a little burned out, that can be difficult. So go ahead, take FAR first, then audit or reg, and finish up with BEC, okay? Now, The last thing I want to talk about are some study best practices on how to use our course. So typically what I tell students is read through the entire chapter, all right? You're sitting down with chapter 1, read the entire chapter. Don't sit down and watch the videos first. Read the entire chapter. The reason for that is that a lot of these concepts throughout the chapter will build on each other. So if you watch chapter 1, objective 1, the video, right, you might need a little bit more information to really grasp those concepts. So read through the entire first chapter, right? You might not pick out everything that's super important when you read through the first time, but read it all. Then watch the videos, and we'll go a little bit more in depth. I'll show examples on the board, but you'll already have some base knowledge of that chapter so you can follow along with me a little easier. Read the whole chapter, then start watching the videos, okay? At the end of each section, all right, objective, we're gonna have study questions for you. Take those questions, see how you do. If there's an objective or a section that you don't do as well on, go back and reread it, rewatch the videos, all right? So again, read all the video, read all the material, watch the video, do the multiple choice questions, and then go back and reread the sections that you didn't score well on. Now, for me, what I notice is a trend from students going all the way back to 2011. The ones that do better on the exams are the ones who spend a lot of time in the multiple choice questions, okay? And they don't just rush through them. When I say you do the multiple choice questions, all right, you answer the question, and then you understand why the right answer is the right answer. You look at the explanation, all right? Whether you got it right or wrong, you read the explanation. You really dive in and understand what the explanation is. Understand why each of the other answers are wrong, and really know why the correct answer is correct, okay? That might sound simple. Oh yeah, of course, understand why it's correct, fine. A lot of people will just hit the multiple choice, they answer it, they get their test score, and they move on. No, doing the multiple choice is really an active learning exercise. You take the test and then you review it. The review is where you gain the knowledge, okay? So maybe you get a 75 on that study test. Go back through, don't just review the ones you got wrong, right? That's misleading. You could get one right that you guessed on, okay? Review each question. It should take you it should take you some time to review your multiple choice questions, okay? But that's where a lot of the learning comes in terms of being able to do well in the test. We'll give you the knowledge. We've got the book for you, we've got the videos, we'll give you the knowledge you need. But you gotta really spend time in those multiple choice questions. That's gonna put you above and beyond when taking this exam. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this introductory video. These exams are difficult, and there's a reason they're difficult. You want them to be difficult. You don't want this to be a super easy designation to get because it won't matter as much, right? You want this to be hard, but you can do it. It's passable. You just got to put in the time. We're going to give you the materials. We're going to help you along. You got to put in the time, and you can do it. All right. Good luck, and I'll see you in the videos.